to the second part. Actually, we are back to talk about what Marjorie has done. Remember, in the first episode, she told us about her being among the very first foreign nurses who came to this country, and she had a lot of difficulties adapting and joining the NHS, which is the National Health Service. So we want her to tell us her involvement and contribution to the structure of the nurses placement or practice placement as it's called now.
Okay.
Marjorie, you're
Thank
welcome.
you, Rose. Thank you. Yes, I first started, basically I just got involved with overseas nurses program or supervised practice.
Yes.
As we were called before. That was called the adaptation program.
Yes.
And I started back really when the nurses came over, when the UK started to recruit nurses. So Leeds actually recruited a lot of nurses. I think it's about 600 nurses that came.
Wow.
And that's not included all the Africans. It's basically those Filipinos that came, and then the Africans came from different, from Pakistan. They came over.
Wow.
So there's quite a lot of nurses. So of course they had to put forward some strategies on how to make that projects work. So because it's a massive recruitment.
Yes.
So what happens is that I was given the opportunity to oversee that program.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was given a secondment for 2 years. And I was called as education coordinator for overseas nurses.
Okay.
So that was the beginning of it. Now, because of my experience, as you said, that I shared with you in the beginning of our interview, that I had some issue, or not issue, but challenges.
Challenge, yes.
And that was 15 years ago. Before
then.
That when I did the job.
Yes.
That's when I was given this comment. So. And when I started that job, I thought to myself, people are still facing the same problem. I only just started, and I was already hearing a lot of things.
Wow.
So I said, there's something wrong. So when I looked at the program, it was still the same program as when I did 15 years prior.
Prior to
that. So when I looked, I'm thinking, God, this is not this is really strange, because I was facing that problem. And then now, when 15 years later, the nurses were still the same. They were facing the problem like bullying, lack of supervision, and lack of competence, all those things that I was experiencing. So when I looked at the program, we have this portfolio. It is the same portfolio. It is same format. So I took the opportunity once again to talk to my boss and said, you know what, this is the main problem. This is why, nurses are actually getting these challenges. So I researched, and I keep on researching, and I did a survey, for all the nurses, overseas nurses, why, they were having problems, based on my experience as well. So, and it came to, the outcome of that is because we lack training. We lack of training. So we then, because of that, we now put forward, we called an overseas nurses program.
Wow.
Where they have to undertake 10 days program training, and that could be provided 10 days as block, or you can do it weekly.
Wow.
As long as you do it for 10 days.
Yes.
So then they were getting training. They were getting, so every week they were coming to the professional development to do the training. So that is part communication, assertiveness, personal development, CV, everything. And then what they do, they go to the ward and they get more confident. They can, they understand, colloquial words, all of these things they understand when they go to the ward. So, and then if there's somebody failed, we then come back to me and say, you know what, and then I investigate why. And because of that, because of what happened to me, I knew it wasn't them that's a problem. It's the system.
Yes.
So now I challenge the system. So now when there is an issue, I go in and help both sides, not just the nurses, because nurses can be, so I provide support for the mentor and support for the. So we now put a mentors program to mentor overseas nurses.
Wow.
So that's why it became successful.
Wow.
And not only that, I was given, because I thought this is not enough. We need to have a support network. So now we were given funding from Department of Health to the project of which is called Leads Initiative for Overseas Nurses, and a support network for all the nurses, not just for Leads, across. And we had a big conference and attended by our speaker is Sarah Malali, who is a chief nurse of England.
Yes.
She came and supported that program.
Wow.
And we were given funding like 57,000
Wow.
to oversee. So we managed to employ somebody to manage that support network. And that is really used by even RCN.
Yes.
Use that network to make sure that we support not just Leeds but also other NHS.
Yes.
So that was really positive. That was really positive.
And you went into the nursing times, you said.
Yeah. I wrote an article. Of course, helped by my colleagues from the professional development.
Yes.
And it's a study about supervised practice practice program.
Wow.
It's basically what I was thinking in the beginning is to prepare nurses before coming into the placement or to the adaptation program.
Wow.
Because, as we all know, as nurses coming over here, if you're not prepared, you will just...
That's right.
It's also... It affects your confidence, isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the contribution. And then it became into, because the 2 years is my secondment, so I said that's not finished, so we had to continue. So I continued as my own independent training organization, which is Overseas Nurses Training Organization.
Yes.
And that lasted for 11 years.
Yeah, wow.
And we were the only one at that time training organization that is accredited by University of Northampton. And one again, I think it was because they have to choose, and it's this only training organization that you can franchise and teach your nurses in your own placement. Otherwise, they have to go to university. But we were given that opportunity to train our nurses in our own premises.
Wow.
So now our responsibility is to train and to place them to different, placement, care homes.
Now that reminds me, because now University of Northampton is one of the universities where students are taking OSCEs.
That's right.
For them to go and work in NHS, they have to pass that to be registered as
2014 and 2015, 16, 17 when it started. During that time, University of Northampton is piloting the OSCE. So they were the only one that is actually providing that service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
And we've been in partnership with them for a long time. So we've helped a lot of nurses. Some of the nurses now are managers, research fellow. It was just so amazing. So yeah,
wonderful.
It's just so nice that
wonderful. Wow, it's amazing the contribution you've done to to the nursing programs for overseas nurses. But I know that, Marjorie, you've been a manager in the NHS, and you have gone on to do just not nursing, but you have become an entrepreneur, and you are empowering Christian women at this point in time.
Yes, this time one of the things, because my passion is developing people.
Yes.
That's the reason why I had that overseas nurses training, is developing nurses.
Yes.
And that's my passion. My passion is teaching. I didn't realize that I have that, but over the years, I think God has revealed, to me what is really my passion, what is my purpose.
Wow.
And now, from that developing nurses, it's only just now, 7 years down the line, God spoke to me and said, transformational leaders for Christian women in business. Because as we know, Rose, we have Jesus, we have Christ in us. But sometimes women and say, well, I can't do that. I don't have that.
Wow.
I can't speak. I'm not that type of person.
Wow.
Now, if we have Christ in us, we can do everything. when we have Christ in us.
Wow. Amen.
So that's why I believe that if our Christian women can be coached in business nowadays pandemic, what do we do as women? We stay at home.
Yeah.
But we can do our business at home.
Online.
We can do business at home. And we call it home-based entrepreneur. We can use our time. We don't have to worry about, oh, what time I'm going to work.
Wow.
Let's do it together. But of course, before you can do that, you need to learn, you know, the skills of presentation, the skills
Definitely.
of, you know, of the business. You know, if you have the fear of business, let's help you, because you know what, when when you have Christ in you, you don't have fear.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
isn't it?
That's
We don't
right.
have fear.
That's right. Well, the Bible says, those that know their God, they shall be strong,
Exactly.
and they will do exploits.
Exactly. And this is why I believe that we need to be coached. So it's not about training. Yeah, some people need training, but you know, sometimes we need to bring that out.
Yes.
What is your purpose? What is your purpose here?
Wow.
Because you know, when online you can just help somebody,
Amen.
isn't it?
Amen.
Because we can't even go out,
That's right.
you know,
That's
and we need
right.
to encourage people.
Yeah.
And some people we don't even know. They're probably having problems with the money, you know, and let's share, you know, what is it that you want to do.
So how can women find you then?
At the moment, I hope this is one of them.
Yes,
You know, that you
yes,
can share with
yes.
some Christian women.
Yes.
I hope this is one of them. And
Yeah.
at the moment, we're just doing marketing for that one. And
Yes.
you know, I've just spoken to my pastor, and pastor actually support this. And you know, it's just talking to all the women.
And they tell us about your pastor, maybe the name, the church.
Oh yeah, my church is I go to a church called in His Presence Assembly for Square Church,
Yes.
and we're based in Leeds.
Wow.
Leeds, UK. So yeah, so we are members of different churches as well. So my pastor, I said to him that, you know, this is what I wanted to do, and God's given me this, and we need to help women to develop themselves,
Wow.
even at home, you know,
Wow.
online.
Wow.
We can do it, you know, because there's a lot of people losing jobs,
Yes.
closing companies, and you know, hospitality, you know, and these people are working and they have debts, they have mortgages,
They need to pay.
they need to pay this. So
Yes.
we need to open their mind, you know, opening their mind, because sometimes you think, oh, online is not good because we don't trust, but you know what, it's you that's doing the business, it's you that's putting out, you know, what is it that you want. But of course, we have God to direct us.
Definitely. So we have to keep learning, we have to keep developing ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, women, there you are. Marjorie is here if you need her, in His Presence, Foursquare Church in Leeds. And of course, you can get in touch with us, and then we'll connect you to Marjorie if you're an entrepreneur and you want to continue in business, you want to learn more. You know, let's develop ourselves, go online and market ourselves out there. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, Marjorie is going to tell us, give some advice to someone who wants to come. She's been quite resilient, she's been here for a long time, and she's got good words for those who want to come. Thank you. Hello viewers, welcome back. We've had a short break. So we want Marjorie to look into that camera and just give advice. What do you have for, you know, nurses, doctors, teachers, any professional, anybody who wants to come as a student, whatever, to the United Kingdom? What advice do you have for them?
Okay. Thank you, Rose. Yes, I just want to give advice based on my experience as a nurse here, and also as I had a company which is bringing nurses over here as well. So the first thing first really that I can advise you is look at first the immigration rules of the UK or wherever you're going. Yeah, but especially for the UK, make sure that you know the rules. And if you're nurses, make sure that you know the requirements of the Nursing and Midwifery Council on what you need to do what are the things that you need to pass before you come to UK. But I think that's the first thing you have to do, because if you know the rules and the requirements of the NMC, whoever you come in contact with, nobody can fool you. Wow. Because you already know the rules. Because people are getting fooled because they lack in, researching first on what they need to do. How much it will cost? How much is the visa? How, what are the things that I need to do? The IELTS, what do I need to do? What is the requirements for the IELTS? Where do I need to get my OSCE? All these things that you need to do. So you need to do first your own research. Don't depend on anybody. You need to do it first. And then people will come to you, or you can go to the recruitment agency that is credible, that is, that is registered, or even for us in the Philippines, our recruitment agencies are registered, from an organization. So you need to make sure that they are credible before you go into anything. So, and then when you come here, making sure that you know the rules of UK. And that's it really. I can advise you, Rose.
Wow.
And everybody and the viewers who wants to come here, because over here, it costs money to rent, all these things that you have to take into consideration. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. That is quite powerful. So have the knowledge so you don't perish, and of course follow the rules. Know the right agencies. You will not fail. Thank you so much, Marjorie.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, viewers, for being with us. Until next time.
Until next time.
Thank you.